Okay, you guys, I've been so excited to make this video. I took a course last week and I loved it so much, and I've been so excited to do this, but I wanted to wait until I kind of understood it a bit more because this was all new information to me. So I've been doing a lot of research and stuff, but I took the course through a program called Educating the Soul. And basically how I found it was that I used to struggle so much with binge eating, mindless eating. I just had so many food issues and I was tired of having food issues. I was tired of always thinking about food. I was just tired of, like the same day in, day out, the same thing of like trying to be like, step away from the peanut butter, Amy, and it was just getting too much. So I'm always trying to find something. Now, when I research, binge eating or mindless eating, you get the same information, like don't buy the foods that trigger you, don't do this, don't do that. And it's good information, but I was just like, meh, there's gotta be something better. And then I found this and I was like, how the heck do I not know about this? Like, I can't believe I've never even heard this concept. And so when I did, it just made so much sense to me because I kind of knew all along that my food issues, your food issues, were not really food issues at all. They're other issues, but I didn't know what the other issues were or how to deal with them or how to handle them or how to recommend people handle them until this. And I even took my nutrition course and they talked about all sorts of food and what that food does to your body and what you should be eating and blah, 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 but like nothing to do with the mindset. And honestly, the more I read, the more I listen to podcasts, I realize that every aspect of our life, it all starts here. It all starts here. And so anyways, this was just another one that I was like, I knew it was all in here. So if you guys have heard of this, please let me know. But this concept is called primary food and secondary food. Never heard of it before in my life. So a primary food is not actually food at all. A secondary food is food that we eat, food that we ingest, that nourishes us on a cellular level. Your primary foods are foods for the soul. They are your exercise, your hobbies, your job, your relationship, and your spirituality. So I'm gonna read you a quick definition of what a primary food is because I've been researching it like crazy all week because I'm just like so intrigued by all of this. So the definition of a primary food is, it is more than just as what is on your plate. Healthy relationships, regular physical activity, a fulfilling career, and a spiritual practice will fill your soul and satisfy your hunger for life. When your primary food is balanced and satiating, your life feeds you, making what you eat secondary. That is totally amazing. I agree with that 100%. So, until we get all of those things figured out, we will not be able to figure out our mindless eating, our binge eating. Now, eating is what most of us struggle with, but that is just one way to fill a void. People abuse drugs, alcohol, shopping, gambling. There are so many other ways to try to fill that void. And basically what it is just like a high in the moment. Like you're having a bad day, so it's like, I'm gonna go out and buy those new pair of shoes. It makes you feel good in the moment, but you haven't dealt with the real issues because dealing with the real issues takes work. And I think a lot of us after a long day, the last thing we wanna do is like work on ourselves. It's like, no, I'm just gonna buy the shoes. I get it, but it's gonna be a constant cycle. And eventually you're gonna get to the point where you're like, I'm done with this cycle. I'm ready to put in the work. So you need to exercise every day. So what that means is that you need to have some sort of activity. You don't need to lift weights every day. You don't need to do an actual workout, but you do need to move your body because our bodies were designed to move. So every day, do something. You need to find a hobby that you enjoy. So it has to be something that you look forward to doing. If you say, okay, I'm gonna take up swimming on Tuesdays, and every Tuesday you wake up and you're like, oh my God, I don't feel like going to the pool, that is not your hobby. You need to find something that you're excited about. You might have to try several things, but you will find something that you are passionate about. A fulfilling career. This one is tricky because we all need a job, we all need to make money. but we spend so many hours working that it's really important that at the end of the day, we feel fulfilled, that we feel like we've made a difference. I remember when I worked in the government, I left that job every single day feeling like it really didn't matter if I showed up or if I didn't show up. I really didn't make a difference. And that is a terrible, terrible feeling. So our careers are super important. You need to have relationships that are meaningful with people that you can trust. You don't need to have a lot of relationships, but the ones that you do have need to be the real deal. And then spirituality, that is just belief in a higher power. That's through meditation. If you call it the universe, if it's God, it's just to have some sort of belief, somebody to talk to, somebody to pray to. A higher power. Now, again, the whole concept of this primary versus secondary is just like work on your primary needs, focus on them. And if you're focused on them, you're obviously less focused on food if you're always thinking about food. So put your attention onto your primary needs, and food will just be secondary. So here are a few other tips that I learned in the course as to what to do to be more in the moment, to be more mindful around your food. So number one is when you're sitting down to eat. So many of us are like hungry, it's been a long day, and we just start to like scarf food down our face and the food is gone and you haven't even really enjoyed it or tasted it. So take a few seconds to be grateful. So your plate is there. Think about where your food came from. Where did you buy it? Did you plant it? Did you grow it yourself? Did somebody else grow it? Did you make it? Did somebody else make it? How's it gonna taste? How does it smell? Just take a few seconds to appreciate what is on your plate, and that is creating a different relationship with your food. I think that when you just like pack everything in your mouth without taking a few seconds to give it any thought, you're not respecting the food, you're not respecting your body. I don't know, it might sound a little silly, but it does help making that connection with your food, appreciating your food, being grateful that you have good food on your plate will change the way you eat. The other thing that used to be a big trigger for me was nighttime snacking. I don't do it so much anymore. I will eat at night, absolutely, if I am really hungry, but I do ask myself that question, like, are you just bored or are you really hungry? If I'm really hungry, I eat. But what used to happen to me is that I would have a nighttime snack, and that nighttime snack, once you start eating it, it was so good and it tasted like more and more and more, and that nighttime snack turned into a nighttime binge. And so everything I did so well that day was just gone out the window because I just ate, you know, like 2,000 calories on chocolate and ice cream as a nighttime snack. So now what I do if I'm not truly hungry is I will sit down at night at the end of the day and I will have a tea. I've been like, there's this tea called Bengal. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Spice. It is amazing. So I will have a tea and that's really all I need. Or I will have sparkling water, or I will have kombucha, and you can put it in a wine glass and make it all fancy. But there are some healthy options out there that you can sit down and enjoy a drink and have and watch your show, and it doesn't have to be about food, snacking, all of that stuff. The other thing is visualization. This is important in all aspects of your life. I really feel like if you want something, visualize it, make it real. But at the end of every day, when you're getting in bed and you're trying to fall asleep, visualize how you want your life to be. Visualize how you want to look. What is your goal weight? How does that feel? What can you do that you can't do now? Visualize everything down to the detail as you fall asleep. It just puts you in a good mindset. And when your mind is already there, like when you're already at your goal weight in your mind, your body is going to catch up so much faster. I swear, like it is a powerful thing. Visualize, if you're not happy in your job, your dream job. What does that look like? Where is it? Do you travel? Do you work from home? You gotta get super, super specific. So those are a few things that I try to do daily. Again, these things take time. These things take work, absolutely. But it's worth the work because it will be a game changer. So if you guys have already heard about this concept, primary versus secondary, please tell me your thoughts on it. Please tell me what you do to fulfill your primary needs. If you haven't heard of it, then I hope this was helpful, because it was so helpful to me. I was like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Loved it. I love knowing this. It's like, oh, I have more work to do on myself. But again, that's just a part of life. Every day you're learning, you're growing. That's just what we're here for. So I hope this was helpful. I would love to know what you guys think, and I hope you guys have a great evening. I will talk to you soon. Bye.